Hello and welcome back to the Chronic Health Diaries. My name is Ellie and I make food and lifestyle videos all to help you live your best life with any chronic illness. Today we're going to make a spaghetti bolognese, a favourite in our house but without garlic and onion. When I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, I found it so hard to get any flavour into my food. But after 7 years, I'd like to say I have now nailed getting flavour back into my dishes, and that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I am an advocate of never cutting something out of your diet unless you need to. However, one thing that is super common with people with Crohn's, colitis, IBS is garlic and onion make you feel dreadfully unwell. So that is why today's recipe does not include them, and I'm going to put loads of recipes on my channel that are super tasty but don't include garlic and onion. Now, I admit I am cheating slightly because the absolute key to this tasting good is garlic infused or garlic flavoured olive oil. Now, I know that sounds odd because we've said it's garlic free, and it is garlic free. This was an amazing recommendation by my nutritionist back when I was really struggling with just eating anything nice. So basically, we're going to use this just as regular oil, but we're going to get that garlic flavour when we are sauteing our celery and carrot at the beginning. So let's get cooking. Okay, so we're going to start by finely chopping 2 little carrots, 1 big carrot, and 1 bit of celery. And we want to do this super fine because it's going to give us all the flavour in the dish right from the beginning. I'm going to say it loud and proud now that I love cooking, but I am not a trained chef, so don't come at me for how I chop my vegetables. I know there's probably a way more efficient way to do this, but, you know, I'm just here for good food. Just chop these however gets them fine. Use whatever method works for you. You will see no fancy knife skills. The base that we're creating here with the carrot, the celery, and frying those in the garlic infused oil is a base that I now use for so many things. So if I'm doing, for example, a chili con carne or a lasagna, this is how I will always start those dishes now. I find that I don't really follow recipe books anymore because it's just a bit pointless. I have tried lots of different diets. There's a lot of food that I can't really eat now. So I just kind of make up whatever I know I can eat. And honestly, the more you experiment and practice, you'll realise that you can still eat super tasty food. I think I just ate plain pasta and bread for like the first 2 years of being ill. And it just made the disease feel so much worse because I just thought I couldn't eat nice food. But if you're prepared just to put a little bit of time into your cooking, honestly, I actually think you'll eat better food than you ever did before. Okay, so we're going to start by heating your pan nice and hot, so turn your hob up to the highest heat. And we're going to start by frying in garlic oil our chopped celery and carrots. Now I know, like I'm going to say again, it sounds really odd to be using garlic infused oil in a garlic free recipe, but I promise you, if I eat actual garlic, I look about 3 months pregnant and I feel horrendous, but this doesn't bother me at all. And I've talked to so many people with stomach conditions who say the exact same thing. As always, just check what works for you because everyone is different. Okay, so now my pan is nice and hot. I'm going to take a really generous glug of this olive oil. Okay, so now your oil is sizzling. You want to add in your carrots and your celery and just give them a stir around. And we're just going to let that fry for about 3 minutes until they're starting to brown. If you feel at any point like you're getting into burning territory, just turn your hob down a notch. I wish you could smell how incredible my kitchen smells already just from these 3 ingredients. So in a second, we're going to add in our mince. Now, obviously do whatever works within your budget, but if you feel like you can, I would really recommend getting your mince from the butcher's. And I say this for multiple reasons. The huge one, it's going to taste way better. Cattle farm mince also tends to include a lot of nasties from the fertiliser they're using and things like that. So that is another really big reason. And also, it's pretty much the same price. We just go to our local butchers and it's so nice. They know us there, we're shopping local, we're supporting our village. And it's literally the same price as what you would buy in Sainsbury's. Okay, so as you can see, our carrot has changed colour a little bit and our veggies are getting nice and soft. So it's time to add in our mince. And we're just going to break that up and mix it in with our veggies. Again, I'm going to turn the hob down one notch here so it's on more of a medium heat so that my mince isn't burning. Okay, so once your mince has got to the point where it's browned, now we're going to bring in even more flavour. So we're going to start by adding in, I eyeball it, but I'm going to say about 1 to 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. So you want to give that a mix in, and then to that we're also going to add some salt and mixed herbs. Again, you can kind of do this to taste preference. I like my food quite salty, so I'm probably going to go for 2 generous pinches of salt, and then 1 to 2 teaspoons of mixed herbs. The next thing we're going to add in is tin tomato. Now, I'm not trying to be a tin tomato snob here, but this brand is the only brand for tin tomatoes that I will use. Now, I will say that these are slightly more expensive than like your regular own brand tomatoes. I think these ones cost like £1, whereas own brand's about 60p. So obviously just do whatever works for you. I just find that this gives so much more flavour to my dishes. So one thing that's going to sound a bit odd is I'm about to add a little bit of maple syrup to my spaghetti bolognese. And that is because tomatoes naturally are quite bitter, so when we put in the tomato paste and tin tomatoes, it might lose a little bit of its flavour if you don't kind of take that flavour out again with something sweet. So you could just use a teaspoon of caster sugar, a little bit of honey. I just happen to have maple syrup in the house. It literally just needs to be something sweet. You don't need much, just enough to kind of bring out the flavours. The last 2 things I'm going to add to this are just a few cracks of black pepper. Again, just do this to taste and what you enjoy. And then I'm also going to add in a stock cube. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have to cheat today because I've run out of the stock cube that I'm going to tell you to use. So basically, I've just got a plain normal one, but there are traces of onion and garlic in this. So if you are super sensitive, I wouldn't recommend these. There's a brand, I think it's called Foddy, but I will check and put a link in the description to the brand. But basically they do low FODMAP sauces and also stock. So if you're super sensitive, get on that brand. I think they sell them on Ocado and probably other supermarkets too. But it's a great alternative to help get your flavour back into your dishes, but without risking any traces of onion or garlic. Okay, so now we're going to leave that to simmer for basically the duration it takes to cook your pasta, so probably about 10 to 15 minutes. So you just want to fill your saucepan up with water and cook pasta the way you normally would. What pasta you use is completely up to you. Gluten doesn't agree with me, so I'm using gluten-free pasta, but I think there's a trend at the moment of cutting out gluten, even if it does agree with you because it's inflammatory and things like this. My motto is always do not cut something out of your diet if it doesn't need to be cut out. So yes, I'm having gluten-free pasta, but have whatever works for you and your body. I'm actually using red lentil penne pasta today. It's naturally a bit higher in protein, but also my problem with some of the gluten-free pastas is there's a lot of processed rubbish in them. Whereas if you go for like a red lentil or a chickpea pasta, you tend to find it's full of less rubbish basically, and it'll keep you fuller for longer because it's higher in protein. Okay, so my pasta is cooked, so I've drained and plated the pasta up, and this is also ready. So in the time my pasta is cooked, the bolognese has had enough time to simmer, and I wish you could smell my kitchen right now because it smells incredible. So let's cook it up. All that's left to do is grate some cheese on top and you are good to go. I think that's taken about half an hour in total, and I promise you this is going to taste amazing. Okay, so here is our finished spaghetti bolognese. Okay, maybe not spaghetti because I've used penne, but let's taste. This is incredible. Not to toot my own trumpet, but this is amazing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any other recipes that you're dying to eat but you don't know how to make them stomach friendly, and I will do my best to record them on this channel. I upload videos every Sunday, so I will see you next week. Bye! Thing because also it tends to be grass-fed, so it's not going to be, well, mince, also,
Your smash at this. She might be a queen.
Stop.